racist thinking.
I'm dedicated to it. I can't be stopped.
They always ask me if I'm ready. I was born ready. Well, what do you do to get ready for your spirit campfire and your interviews? I live 76 years clean and sober. By the way, Joe, thank you. I got so many wonderful gifts for Christmas and New Year's. Joe and Jeanette Roberts sent me this. This is so cool. Look at this. Talking about blood brother, funk brother, spirit brothers. So anyhow, welcome back to Ted Nugent Spirit Campfire. I'll set this down here next to my hot Java. That was Jonathan Gilliam, Navy SEAL, FBI warrior, back when the FBI had warriors. You know, we could get into the glaring offenses and embarrassments and abuse of power and plain brain-dead idiocy about the people who are running our country right now. So the FBI gal comes on with a pierced nose, got the bling-bling thing going. I think she has enough bling-bling to sink the Bismarck. And she goes, we have to get into the Pacific details. Pacific is an ocean. Maybe I should ask her why she doesn't know the difference between specific and Pacific. I'm telling you, I would like to run a bunch of videos of Richard Pryor stand-up comedy, but I don't have to. Uncle Sam is funnier than Richard Pryor with his afro on fire. The greatest moment in the history of comedy, clearly. Oh, that's racist. Richard Pryor made a career out of burning crack gone bad when his afro caught fire, running down the street screaming. It was his career. That's what he talked about. So I can talk about what Richard Pryor talked about. I can do that. It's not racist. The people that would call me a racist would be the racists, unless you're specifically in the Pacific Ocean. And maybe I should ask them. This is the real America's voice, and it's so stupid, it's funny. When Joe Biden shows up on TV, by the way, I don't think it's Joe. I think it's AI gone bad. Like somebody shoved a sun-baked turd into the AI computer, and this thing came out that people are claiming are Joe Biden that somebody thinks is the president. This guy, you know, back when Ozzy would, man, I love Ozzy. Ozzy made a lot of substance abuse mistakes, but what a great, great rock and roll icon. I love Ozzy. I love the Black Sabbath music. I love the Ozzy Osbourne music. I love Ozzy. I love his family. I love Ozzy. Well, Nugent hates the Osbournes. I love the Osbournes. But listening to the guy try to form a syllable is just hysterical. And the only guy that beats Ozzy Osbourne at mutilating syllables would be this thing people call Joe Biden. Well, that's disrespectful to the presidency of the United States. You want to talk disrespectful? Prop up that thing claiming to be the commander-in-chief, and that is the definition of disrespecting the people of America. And guys like Joe Scarborough goes, he's on the top of his game, is one of the smartest guys, most articulate guys, right? Yeah, and John Wayne Gacy is won Babysitter of the Year award. And Richard Speck is the new guide and outfitter for Chicago nurses. Look it up. So thank you for celebrating truth, logic, and common sense with me, because Jonathan Gilliam and I, we covered the atrocities of people gone demonic. Maybe we should look into MK Ultra and what Dwight Eisenhower warned us about, the CIA. Barack. That feels so good just to let out that buck grunt of an obscene syllable belch. Have you ever let out a buck grunt of an obscene syllable belch? Do it. Have you trained your dogs? Fetch. My dogs. All right, we got into the bad and the ugly, and there's always ubiquitous bad and the ugly. But you know what I do? I prioritize. Well, Nugent's a radical. Yeah, I'm an extremist too. I extremely prioritize training my dogs, snuggling Mrs. Nugent, and doing the media because the First Amendment is just as important as the Second Amendment. Which, by the way, remember in recent Real America's Voice tirades from the old guitar player, I wrote Wango Tango and I meant it. I do pretend my face is a Maserati. If you have a problem with that, good luck. My point is that I don't have cantina wire around my American dream. I mow it down with an Abrams tank. I have no parameters except good over evil. And remember when I told you that our government has not only welcomed and red carpeted and incentivized and rewarded terrorists into our country with fentanyl killing hundreds of thousands of Americans through the Democrat Trump derangement syndrome zombie devil gang that don't believe America is a country. Because if you believe in open borders, you hate America. You know, well, I'm a Democrat, but I don't believe it. If you're a Democrat, that's your policy. You support open borders that kill Americans and welcome in jihadists from the Congo and Nigeria and Somalia and the Sudan and communist China. And the drones are flying over the East Coast looking for nukes that our government welcomed people in without vetting them and are actually taking our tax dollars, rewarding them, and then giving them a flight from the prisons of Venezuela. No, this is not the new script for Escape from New York. This is our government right now. And if you're not communicating, some things need to be redundant. Engineered redundancy. Whew. Tell your mayor, tell your chief of police, tell your sheriff, tell your game warden, tell your state trooper commander and your senator and your congressman, your ombudsman, and your state rep, and your governor, and your attorney general, and your lieutenant governor. Hammer the living out of these people that it's the Constitution, law and order. Quit engineering violent crime and welcoming in jihadists. Oy vey. So, what do? Well, if you're unarmed and helpless and you're comfortably numb and drunk and stoned, you're a soft target, you're dead. Because what happened in New Orleans and in Las Vegas at the Trump Tower with the Cybertruck and the fireworks, it's coming to get you, baby. Go to armslist.com. It just happens to be a sponsor. I mean, what is more important than an arms list except my set list when I start the Uncle Ted Speakeasy Hell-Raising Rock House with John Kutz and Calvin Ross and Johnny Big and Chris Hadley. We're going to have some rock outs this winter. It's going to be flame-throwing rhythm and blues soul music. Anyhow, armslist.com, America's firearms marketplace. Write it down. If you're unarmed and helpless, you're a soft target. Why would you choose to be a soft target? And by the way, your 38 special ain't going to help. If you have a 38 special or a 9mm or any handgun, that is merely the tool by which you secure the trail to your real gun. You have to have a shotgun and or a long gun, an AR-15, or in my case, an M4 or an MP5. It's so beautiful. Brass rainbows. So armslist.com, just tell your friends who you care about their lives. If you care about their lives, tell them about armslist.com. Use the promo code FIRE. It's ready, aim, fire. Use the code FIRE to get your first month of membership for just 99 cents. I'm telling you, nothing is more important right now in America than we the people demanding constitutional accountability and being prepared, armed and capable to defend our lives. Armslist.com. Also, another one, you have to have emergency food. Heaven's Harvest. Is that the name of it? Shemaine and I got some of this stuff and we tested it. This is awesome. Heavensharvest.com, self-heating meal kits. It's about rugged individualism, about independence, about being able to take care of yourself and your family and your neighbors. Americans have always been the most loving, giving, generous, but you have to be strong, armed, first aid kits, fire extinguisher, water heat, and self-heating meal kits from heavensharvest.com. This is a sponsor, 5% off, promo code TED. Has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Almost makes you want to gut a creature and cook up their entrails. Heavensharvest.com, self-heating meal kits, no fire needed. For hunting, fishing, hiking, camping, survival. Hello? Well, he's a survivalist. Not to be confused with somebody who doesn't give a rat's ass about living. What? Heavensharvest.com, great stuff, made in the USA. Armslist.com, the code is FIRE, and heavensharvest.com. The code is TED. So thank you for joining me here on Real America's Voice. Thank you, Tony and Parker and all the SIGs and Shahu and John and Ryan and everybody. Linda Peterson, I love her so much. She's been my personal assistant. Boy, we're talking about a task. 36 years, Linda, we pray for you. We love you. And Doug Banker and my sons and daughters, my grandkids, Shemaine. Shemaine has a new book. Go to Amazon.com. Pre-order Abundantly Well. I'm not kidding. You want to be the best that you can be. Shemaine has an outline where you can be the strongest. You won't be a soft target if you follow the Uncle Ted rugged individual, self-sufficiency, independent lifestyle. I'll be back with more truth, logic, and common sense in just a minute. Who's going to stop me? Really, who? I'd like to see it.